What up, y'all? I'm back with another review, and I'm here to review the newest studio album from The Weeknd entitled After Hours. This is The Weeknd's fourth studio album. I want to say this is the second project I reviewed of The Weeknd's. I didn't review My Dear Melancholy, I know that. For some reason, I kind of want to say this may be my third. I want to say I reviewed Starboy, but I feel like I didn't. I want to say I reviewed Beauty Behind the Madness, but at the same time, I kind of feel like I didn't. If anything, this is at least my first time reviewing a Weeknd project, and I'm gonna go ahead and say this now. It's probably I say that it's not my least favorite Weeknd project, but it's still not as good as Beauty Behind the Madness to me. It's a good album without question. That's not a question. But this is a 14-track album. Let's go ahead and get right into it, though. The first track, Alone Again. This is actually, before I get right into it, I do want to say I didn't know if I was even going to review this project at first because I was feeling it and I like the story, but I was like, I just really like reviewing albums that I really like or fuck with. Or if I don't really like the album, or if I'm not fucking with it at all, I'll review it because it's like I really wanted to enjoy this project because it's from an artist that I fuck with, but I just got let down, and I'm just like reviewing it for the purpose of being like, what is this? But yeah, first track, Alone Again. Here he's talking about how he doesn't know if he can be alone again and how if he can sleep alone again. The next track, Too Late. Talking to this girl who seems to be the main girl throughout the theme of this album. It's too late to save our souls. She made some mistakes. He made some mistakes, and he realized that he did it wrong. And he talks about how he can't trust where he lives anymore. And the next track, Hardest to Love, I'm not gonna lie, it's probably the most. I guess I don't even know if upbeat's the word, but of all the beats on here, it's the one that makes me want to dance the most. He talks about how this girl, and this becomes a common theme throughout the album, she keeps trying with him, even though he's being the hardest to love. The house he bought isn't even a home, and even when they're together in it, they're still so alone. And after everything he's done, which we'll get into that in this album, don't worry, she still wants him. The next track, Scared to Live. It's sad and it's sweet. He talks about how he should have known that she was lonely and how as soon as he saw that, he should have just let her go. But selfishly, he kept her around. And he's saying, like, if I held you back, at least I got to hold you close. And he feels like he's the reason she forgot to love. But at the same time, he's like, please don't be scared to love. Don't be scared to live again. And he refuses to keep corrupting her. And he tried to, but he realizes that it's over. The next track, Snow Child, which is one of my favorite tracks on here because this beat is just really good. It's like watching a movie, which this whole album's kind of like watching a movie or a downward spiral, if you will. This is just some of his backstory about how success was his only option and how if he didn't attain that, he would end up cutting himself. He just wanted to turn his nightmares into dreams. He was singing while his niggas were playing with 6 keys. You gotta get that. That's a dope reference. Like, that's a really dope reference. Like, that's what you'd expect to hear in a hip hop song, something like that. But now I think about it, it's a dope reference. Just taking care of his people and how he's come a long way from all of that. Now he's Hollywood, which was the mission. He wanted to be in Hollywood. He wanted to go Hollywood, but now he's leaving. He got a $20 million mansion that he doesn't even live in. He's got this big pool that he never even stepped in. His superstar neighbor is always in his business. Paparazzi's always looking for him to screw up. His only vacation is when he's on tour. There are new rumors and accusations every month. Failure being his only fear. And I guess like all that is kind of like maybe getting in the way. It could lead to failure. It could get in the way of more success. And he was just never blessed with patience. So he's like, you know what? Wrong hand. This is the one where it's louder. Gotta go. Leaving LA, which is perfect because the next track is Escape from LA. You know, I gotta give a shout out to Weeknd because all these tracks fit perfectly. Like they all come after each other in a like this album is just so cohesive. The track listing, the visuals, the album cover, it's all so cohesive. I hate when you get references um, throughout an album, whereas like one track says this, 4 tracks later you're kind of getting the follow up on it. It's like, yeah. But yeah, Escape from LA. Another one of my favorite tracks on here. He just wants to be taken out of LA. Like he just wants it to be him and this girl. He wants to just leave it all behind. Like this place is so overrated and it's fake and it's gonna be the end of me. He got all he wanted out of it, but what he didn't want that he also got, it's shaking him. Like the things he's seen, the things he's done. It's like he don't want it anymore. And now he wants to give somebody else everything that they want. And I'm not sure if this girl that he had sex with in the studio this one night is the girl who's the main girl throughout this album, or, as he admitted, an LA girl that looks like every other LA girl. Just came in and he fell in the temptation of a devil in a dress. But the next track, Heartless, which is like, all right, I see where we've gone now. We've gone from LA to Sin City to the big party in Las Vegas. He's after all that, after Snow Child, after Escape from LA, even after what preceded those songs or what came before those songs, we're here. After all that, trying to be a better man, but he's heartless. Talked about how he never needed a bitch, but how a bitch is what needed him. He's trying to find the one that can fix him, which I don't know if a bitch can fix you, man. A woman or just a significant other will fix you. A bitch, no. He's just too into the party life. Like money and success and pain has done this to him. There's going to be no wedding plan. It's just going to be a low life for the heartless. And it's fucked up, but I'm laughing. He's out there selling dreams to girls who have their guard down, which you hear that a lot about LA, even though he's not in LA now, he's in Vegas. But I guess anywhere where people go to become stars, you hear about that all the time. Like they got their guard down, or some just don't care. They'll do whatever just to get bigger, get their name out there, get some kind of success. The next track, Faith, which he could have, everything he said in this track, I mean, I like this track, but he could have said all this in the previous track with that music video, man. Like, now he's just drugging it up, and because even though when he comes down is from a high is when he feels his most lonely, he's been sober for a year, and he's like, you know what, it's time to go back. Like, don't cry for me, it's just time for me to go back. I thought I'd be a better man, but I lied to myself. All my demons are back, and they're tearing at me. And he tells this girl, like, if I OD, I want you to be next to me. I want you following me, like right behind me, holding me as I smile, leaving this earth with a smile on his face, I guess. And he talks about how he looks in the mirror. When he looks in the mirror, he sees someone he loves. And it's like, what is he seeing in the mirror exactly? Like, sober him or this him? Like, is this what he's addicted to? It's like, if it is, man, it's fucked up. Like, that's another thing about this album. I was worried about The Weeknd, like his mental health throughout this album. Like, wow, this is a wild ass story. Like, damn. And he talks about how he ended up in the back of a cop car with city lights blinding him. You know, he's losing his religion every day. And with that said, ended up in the back of a cop car with the city lights blinding him. The next track is called Blinding Lights, which I know this song mostly because it was the theme song for WrestleMania 36. This is just the next part of the fast life, man. Like, he's looking for someone to show him how to love. He's been on his own for too long. He's going through withdrawals. And it's like, well, now what kind of withdrawals are we talking about here? Talking about like drug withdrawals or the love drug withdrawals? Maybe it's a bit of both, because he's talking about being on his own for so long. So it's like he's going through withdrawals when it comes to drugs and one of the ultimate drugs at least, love. He's just in Sin City, man, like where no one's judging him. He's blinded by the light. He's drowning in the night. But the only thing is, though, her touch is his antidote, and she's the one he trusts, and he's never gonna let her go again. Now the next track, Save Your Tears. Here's where he talks about like trying to love someone else didn't work, and how he realizes that she's the one. Like, in her eyes, he sees something burning inside of her, and she tries to hide the smile but also the pain, but he sees right through it. He almost even he looks the other way because he's like, it's just a front. And I love the outro saxophone here. It was really nice. Now the next track, Save Your Tears. Now this, I believe they were in a club, not together, but she was there and he happened to be there as well. And or maybe with how in love he seems to be with her, maybe he knew she was gonna be there, so he followed her there, or just found out that she was there and like, you know what, that's where I'm headed. She looked so happy without him, but then he realized like when she did see him, a tear fell from her eye, and he just doesn't know why he even runs away, but he'll make her cry when he does run away. And again, after everything they went through, well, not even exactly taking him back, but she's now walking by him like he wasn't even there, like he didn't even exist. He talks about misleading her, breaking her heart like someone did to him, and just wanting her to take him back, but he knows it's too late. And with all that said, he's also telling her to save her tears for another day because she deserves someone better. Which is weird because we get into this next track, the Repeat After Me interlude, and he's telling her, you don't repeat after me, you don't love him, you're just fucking, you're thinking of me anyway. Like, you don't love him if you're just fucking and you're thinking of me. It's like, yo, like, don't cry, let me wipe your tears, you'll always be mine. The next track, the title track, After Hours. Here he talks about falling in too deep. Like, he thought he almost died again in his dreams, which if you almost died again, I feel like that's got to be a nightmare, but maybe it is his dream to die. Like, with what he's going through in this album, is like he's expressed like wanting to go away, but maybe not just die, maybe just go somewhere else where nobody knows him. But at the same time, it's like, nigga, you the Weeknd, so good luck. But fighting for his life in this dream, and he couldn't breathe, and it's like, it looks like he's going through withdrawals again, but it's like, I think this is more so the love withdrawal and less of the drug withdrawal. Like, he can't sleep without her, he can't breathe without her, all the other girls are just a distraction. Who he lied saying that she was the wrong one for him, and how he'd stay with someone else in spite of her, which is, it's like, you were being sweet, but now you're kind of being a dick, Abel. It's like, what the fuck? And even though she did some things she regrets, he'd still ride for her. Now, it would be interesting, and maybe someone's taking it this way, I'm not necessarily, but it's interesting to think, what if when he talked about fighting for his life, couldn't breathe, can't sleep without you, can't breathe, all the other girls are just a distraction, what if he is talking about a drug and all these other girls he's talking about are just other drugs? Just something to think about. I'm pretty sure it's about the girl, though. And the last track, Until I Bleed Out. Here he's talking about being so paralyzed and how he can't explain why he's terrified, and how he doesn't want to touch the sky anymore. He just wants to touch the ground, which is interesting to think because, again, he has expressed like, you know what, I'll just die, fuck it. So it's like, okay. And he doesn't want to get high anymore. He wants it out of his life now. And he wants to cut this girl out of his dreams until he's bleeding out. So it's looking like he wants to cut this girl out of his dreams, even though he really wants her, but knows he really can't necessarily have her anymore because she seems to have moved on, and which is what he wants, but at the same time, he still wants her. It's weird. He wants to cut her out of his dreams until he bleeds out, and I'm guessing he wants to cut the drugs out of his dreams until he bleeds out. So maybe he kind of wants what his nightmare is, to be alone, because maybe it won't be so much of a nightmare, or if he confronts it, it may not be as scary as he thinks it is. It's just interesting with this album. It's very cohesive. It's very interesting. It's very cinematic because it really tells a story. It's almost like reading a book. And that's how I view this album. It's a story that I keep on reading. The three visuals plus the album cover really help tell the story here. I'd give this album a solid 7.25 out of 10. It doesn't necessarily blow me away, but it's quality music. It's very cohesive. Everything from the track listing, the visuals, the cover, everything just fits. Nothing seems to be out of place. Like, it seems like a real story, like a real love story. Not just a love story, but like with heartbreak and everything, but just the lifestyle of a guy who made it to Hollywood and went Hollywood, and now he's like, now I don't want anything to do with it anymore. But I keep kind of going back to it. It's like I can't escape it. I'm fighting my demons. I'm losing my religion. It's like, it's just a very interesting story, and I have to applaud Abel for that. So whether this is my second or my third or just my first review, I'm glad to have this album reviewed on my channel. And that's kind of the main reason, because even though it's not something that blows me away, I realize that it's quality. I realize how cohesive it is and just the chemistry of the album. And I wanted to have an album like that under my belt that I could say I reviewed. Just a nice story, just a nice book to kind of read. Like of course it's not a book, but you get what I'm saying. So that's pretty much it. Thank y'all for watching. If you've heard this album, let me know what you think about it in the comment section below, and what you think about my review on it. If you haven't heard this album, I definitely recommend that you check it out. Even though it doesn't blow me away, it's still good music, and I can recognize that. So yeah, hit the like button if you like this review, share the review, subscribe to the channel if you're new and like the content that you see. Also, be sure to check the description box, because I have links down there that you might be interested in clicking, as far as like just taking you to my social medias and things like that. My PSN's even down there. And like I said, if you've heard this album, let me know what you think about it and what you think about my review. And if you haven't, definitely check it out, because it's good. And then come back and let me know what you think about it and my review. And I'll be sure to see y'all next time. Thank you for watching.